Hey y'all. So, what do you do if you're a broke writer, but you really want to break into writing? You really want to self-publish a book. What can you do to get your book edited and get a professional looking finished product? Obviously, you don't just want to throw anything out there. You're wanting to publish something you're passionate about that you care about. So, what can you do? Well, luckily, I have some ideas for you, and I talk more in depth about these in my step by step self publishing roadmap course. But these are just some ideas that you can get started on today. First thing you can do is you can consider who you know. Who amongst your family and friends is really, really excellent at English, at language, at grammar, at knowing where a comma goes, at knowing how things are spelled? These people are your biggest fans anyway. They're your friends, they're your people who've loved you your whole life. Just ask them, say, hey, I know you're really good at writing or you read a lot. Is there any way that you would look at my chapters or a few chapters? Do you have time? Could you do this for me? And then if they do, buy them a coffee, take them out to lunch or something. It's a lot less expensive way to get your editing done. The goal over time is to build up a list of beta readers like that who are able to give you really good feedback about if your characters are consistent, if you've changed the location, if you're doing a lot of typos, if there's a word you use too much, if you're not using commas correctly. And ideally, you'll have 5 to 10 beta readers who will look at these things, give you feedback that you can then put into your work without having to pay an editor. Of course, by that time, by the time you build up 5 or 10, you may have enough money to pay an editor. You may be making enough money on your books. But if not, or if you just don't want to spend the money, there's a lot of self published writers that do use beta readers and maybe just pay a proofreader to go over their work. If you only have 1 or 2 people and you're really worried that there's still mistakes in your work, you're just super concerned about it. You don't want to put something out there that's going to turn your new readers off or that's going to make you look like you don't know what you're doing. You can do some editing things on your own. You can print the pages out and look at them carefully, line by line, doing your own line editing, mark things, take a break from it, go back to it, and then take that paper copy and plug those changes into your electronic digital file. You also can use tools like Grammarly. Grammarly lets you post so much for free. It doesn't quite give you as much feedback as the paid version. You also can pay for Grammarly for a single month, which is kind of nice because you can use it every day and get your work edited and then cancel the subscription until you need it again. Great for beginners. At this point, I do pay for it on an annual basis because it's cheaper. I usually get a Black Friday deal to extend my length of time, but even at the yearly rate, it's not too bad. There's also tools like Hemingway, spelled like the author's name, hemingway.com, that you can plug it in. They'll tell you if any phrasing is awkward, too long, confusing for the reader. It's very helpful for that. It doesn't catch the grammatical stuff unless you pay for it, but it's really good for those things. Reading out loud is a great tool. Just because you know what you wanted to write, you know what you wanted to say, so your brain will read it that way. Even better is to use a tool like Google Documents where it will actually read your work to you and you can hear it in another voice and you will pick up even more mistakes that you don't see or hear when you're doing it yourself. Now, a word of caution about that. If you plug your document into Google Documents, don't then try to download that file and upload it to Amazon because it will more than likely give you errors or mess up your formatting. So be really careful with that. But you can use it as a tool and then edit your Word document or whatever program you're using to upload the file to Amazon to their KDP program. Now, a final suggestion, and this is a little bit controversial because some writers are either totally against using AI whatsoever in the writing process or they're okay with using it. Personally, I think it can be a tool that can help you get organized, that can help you do research. I don't like to use it for writing or editing, but one way I use it when I'm writing content for some of my clients because they've requested I use it this way. They don't want us to use it to write it clearly, and I wouldn't do that because I would just draw a line. But they want us to plug it in for editing help. Now, you don't have it rewrite your words because then it's writing for you and it doesn't sound human and it's AI generated. So the search engines don't like it. But what you can do is say, here is this 2,000 word article that I've written on how to market your small business. Tell me if there's anything in this article that sounds awkward to you. And it will then flag it. You can even tell it, like, bold the phrases that sound awkward to you or list them for me. And then you can go to your document and you can edit them yourself. And you can definitely do that with fiction or nonfiction. You can go chapter by chapter. If you feel comfortable, you can upload your entire work. I personally don't feel comfortable giving it my entire work because there's too many instances of them taking pirated works or taking our work and using it for their own uses without our permission. So I don't feel comfortable uploading my whole book, but you might. You could also plug in a chapter and say, hey, is there a word I'm using too much in this chapter that maybe I could vary it a little bit? Give me some ideas for some synonyms. And it will spit out, you're using this word this many times. Here are some synonyms for that word. Again, you do the work. You go in and you change things, but it will give you an idea of where you can improve your writing. I would even say you could probably use it to do some developmental editing. You could say, here's my idea, here's how my plot goes. Are there any holes in this plot? Is there any way that I could strengthen it? Now be really careful here because it's going to be pulling from all the other books out there and basically plagiarizing what they've done. And you don't want to do that. But it can give you some ideas by showing you where the holes are and how it would fix them. And then this is where your creative side kicks in and you say, okay, this needs to be fixed. This is how AI suggested that I fix it. So clearly someone else has written it that way. How can I do it different? So you're using it as a tool. You're not using it to do the writing or the hard work for you. You're just using it as a tool like you would a brainstorming partner or something along those lines. You also, another idea, you could join a writers group and you could trade chapters with another writer and give each other feedback. There are lots of ways you can get your work edited if you're a broke writer. Hey y'all. So, what do you do if you're a broke writer, but you really want to break into writing? You really want to self-publish a book. What can you do to get your book edited and get a professional looking finished product? Obviously, you don't just want to throw anything out there. You're wanting to publish something you're passionate about that you care about.